crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what's up, Bronco Nation? Welcome to Jackson's here on Broadway near Albertsons Stadium as we get you set for Boise State football, Boise State basketball, and we appreciate Jackson's for having us out today. Busy week, Jay Tust. Someone said it's game day. You said maybe they're talking about golf?
Yeah, the women's golf team is out on the island competing in a tournament in Hawaii, so I got off to an okay start yesterday. They're back at it today. Maybe that's what they mean.
Yeah. Either way, football game is Friday. It is a different day this week, but busy week in the state of Nevada for Boise State athletics. So you got basketball media days down in Las Vegas on Thursday, and then you have the football game in Reno on Friday. So hopefully you guys can hear us okay, see us okay. If you have any issues, let us know. We're in the awkward spot where everyone getting their gas is just kind of wondering who are these jack wagons with a microphone as we were right here. But Jay wanted to get in the shade, wanted to get a good shot of Jackson's, the stadium, and we're giving folks a treat as they're getting their gas today.
And take up at least one stall here.
You need to tell them that. When I told the manager inside, yeah, we're going to be doing it, I won't bother anybody. And then I thought, you know what, the best spot was actually right in the middle of the overhang here. So Although the frost is melting, and yeah. Someone says this is a weird time to start. We had practice this morning. Tuesdays. We're always late on Tuesdays. They're out there on the field practicing, so we like to get out there and see who's in, who's out, and at least for me, show my face around there. I know Jay's obviously had all the practices and things. Tuesdays are the easier day for us to get to, so come on, Bronco 130. Every Tuesday we start later. You should know that by now. But, Jay, as I said, football team, 21.5-point favorites, I think it is, down in the desert. Pretty large spread, but I know Spencer's doing all he can to not at all let the team or the players or anybody think this is going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, I think that just the trajectory that the Boise State football team is currently on, like they've been pretty good in all three areas in a couple of games. But, like, I still don't feel like we've seen this team completely click, put offense, defense, and special teams together. I feel like last weekend was pretty close, but they still had the muff punt, a couple of them, to be honest with you there. But I feel like they're really close. And for that reason, I just don't think that this team right now is in the position that they would overlook anything in front of them, regardless of who the opponent is. Nevada struggled, man. I believe they're still looking for their first conference win under Coach Choate. I mean, they didn't win one last year. Still searching for their first one this year.
Yeah.
One thing you do
well,
know,
they're only
though,
won this year. They're only win this year. They should have lost against Sacramento State.
Right. I think it's 20-17 or something. The one thing I will say, though, is that Jeff Choate's going to figure out how to be competitive on Friday night. We saw it last year when they came to the Blue, and, they gave Boise State one heck of a fight. So you figure that Jeff Choate's going to have them up for this game for sure. But overall, I just don't think the Boise State football team right now, given just kind of how the season has gone, and not like I'm not saying it's been bad or anything. I'm just saying, like, as they look to really connect and put all three phases together, I just don't think they're going to overlook anybody right now.
Now, Bronco 130 has a good question here, Jay. He wants to know if a paying BNN subscriber shows up, will you pump their gas this morning?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I'll
make
BJ buy me an energy drink for it. I will absolutely.
Yeah, we're not paying for the gas. We'll pump it.
Pump your gas.
You got 25 minutes. If you're in the area and get over here, there's an open spot number 1 here. We can broadcast Jay pumping your gas for free. Painting Reno the right shade of blue. Remember, that was the Jeff Choate graphic about painting Boise the right shade of blue, I believe, there, AP. But he'll have them ready to go, but also, like, that can only do so much for you.
Yeah, you can only be so fired up. You still have to go out and play the game and execute. And I really do think the fun thing about this football team, the Boise State football team right now, is we're 7 games in, and we're still kind of figuring out who they are. And one thing I think we're really starting to figure out is that Dylan Riley is becoming a star. Like, what he's doing right now, over 8 yards per carry. He has 695 rushing yards this season.
That caught up on me when I looked at that.
On 86 carries. I mean, that is.
And you said in your graphic he's what, number 11 in the nation in rushing right now?
He's number 14 in the country in rushing yards per game.
Okay.
But he has 11 rushes of 20 or more yards. That is more than any other player in college football. He is explosive. And I think the cool thing about Dylan, we'll continue to say this. Your heart goes out to him because of what he went through this offseason. But, man, he is just such a mature and cool kid. And every time he gets behind the mic, he's a great representative of the program. And he's just so deserving of whatever comes his way when it comes to success, the spotlight. It's really remarkable what he's doing right now for this Boise State football team. And I'm excited to see where it continues to go. I'll throw another one at you, BJ. This is a stat that Ashton Genty led the country in last year. And it looks like Dylan Riley is on pace to do it again this year. He has 323 rushing yards in the fourth quarter. Not only is that first in college football, it's first by almost 80 rushing yards. I believe he leads by 78 rushing yards, in the fourth quarter. So the Jet can finish, if you will.
No doubt. I was trying to get a graphic up here, and I'll see how quickly I can pull it in, Jay. But you mentioned Dylan Riley. He is our special guest tonight at the James. Dylan Riley and Sire Gaines tonight at the James Kitchen and Bar for folks who want to come meet him. That should be a fun show.
It should be a fun show. Those are great kids, great sound bites.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to get you to promote
it'll be fun to see how they interact with each other.
There you go.
I'll hype these two guys.
There you go.
Man.
Sire Gaines, Dylan Riley. We appreciate Jackson's. That's one of the reasons we're here today, is to help promote their sponsorship of the Riley and Ridge show. And Dylan Riley, Sire Gaines. And for the first time, Jay, last Saturday, Dylan Riley did open up a little bit about the passing of his father. It had been obviously, for good reason, a sensitive topic, and we were kind of not wanting to address that right away. But he seemed like he was kind of in a talkative mood, and I kind of looked over at the SID and was like, can I give it a shot? And I kind of phrased it. I think I didn't mention specifically that, just you've overcome a lot and had to deal with a lot off the field. And he opened up about it. So it was that interview's out there. I know you played some of it. But if we'll see if he gets into that tonight. But certainly he's dealing with a lot off the field and on the field, and that makes what, like you said, easy to root for, and what he is doing, I think, even that much more special.
I mean, I think we just start. I understand Dylan came in as, it's funny. I'm post a video here in a little bit myself on Instagram, but I said in the video, that Dylan came in as the third string running back this year. And technically on the depth chart, because Breezy was hurt, he was the third string running back. But you could even argue
fourth
that he might have been the fourth
string
I would
running, definitely say you
running back when fall camp kicked off. And now he is, in my opinion, climbed to RB1. And you look at his numbers, BJ, he is a true sophomore. He has 695 rushing yards through 7 games. Ashton Genty, in his true sophomore season, rushed for 1,347, I believe. Somebody can check me on that. I think that's what he rushed for.
Okay.
But that puts Dylan on pace to finish right around where Ashton would have finished as true sophomores. And what did Ashton do that year? What title did he earn at the end of the season?
Was he the conference player of the year?
He was the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year that year.
Wow.
And so I think that it's going to surprise some people, but I'm going to start the campaign. Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
I think that Dylan Riley is firmly putting himself in that discussion.
Especially if Boise State runs the table in the league and wins the champ. I know I think that they're due before the championship, but if they go 8-0 in league and they're hosting the title game again, it's like, okay, who on Boise State deserves it? He may be the guy. And you're talking about 695 rushing yards. I mean, it would almost be a disappointment at this point, Jay, if he doesn't get to 1,000.
Oh, he'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, yeah, he's averaging about 100 rushing yards per game.
He needs 305, and he's got 5 games left.
He's only averaging right around 12 carries per game. He's averaging over 8 yards per carry. He has a touchdown, touchdowns of 77, 75. He had a 63-yard run last week, a 49-yard touchdown run. I mean,
you said most runs over 15 yards, right?
Most runs over 20 yards in the country. He's got 11 of them.
All right. And I think they said if you go to 15 yards, it's even more. And he leads that in the nation and conference as well. Okay, Jay. So again, tonight, 8:00, Riley and Ridge show across the street over at the James. If you want to come meet Dylan Riley or Sire Gaines, bring those trading cards. They'll sign them for you. We'll pack some away. And as always, first beverage is on BNN if you're a paid subscriber. So somebody said, who gets the first question tonight, Sire or Dylan?
Good question.
Pretty good. Let's see. Just joining, but we were trying to avoid them. You had told me you'd come on if we avoided the Mariners talk. Yeah. But how close were you to throwing your phone through the TV last night?
Oh, honestly, I didn't think about throwing it through the TV.
You threw the TV instead.
I threw the TV instead. Yeah.
That was a tough one, man. I feel for
threw the TV at my phone.
You and Johnny and all the Mariner fans out there, man. I don't know. I mean, would you have rather lost 10-0? I mean, just not had to have that 7th-inning lead. I mean, I
would have rather made what honestly makes sense as a very simple managerial decision. For me, that game, it really will be. I will remember it like I remember the Seahawks not giving Marshawn Lynch the ball on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl. Honestly, I'm a huge Seahawks fan. Like my whole life, I've liked the Seahawks. But man, I've lived and died with the Mariners for a long, long time. There's no other team that I'd rather see, win a professional sports championship than my Seattle Mariners, and it hurts. Not going down with your best, putting in either Munoz or leaving Wu in. Those were our 2 best guys all year.
Thought they took out Kirby too early too.
Yeah,
why not walk Springer too? I don't know if that hasn't been talked about as much.
Should we get into this?
Someone said they're going to cry if you keep talking about the Mariners. Maybe we shouldn't.
I'm going to leave you with this.
All right.
I don't think you necessarily should have walked Springer because there would have been the bases loaded, 1 out. So either way, you're going to have to go through Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the bases loaded in that situation, which I would want to avoid that.
Double play for the other dude.
But for maybe, but I don't know. Yeah. Either way, the thing that I don't love is that clearly Dan Wilson wanted to limit the amount of looks that Toronto hitters got at an individual pitcher, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're staying with that theme, why throw Pizzardo on back-to-back nights, especially when Sunday night's game was kind of getting out of reach when he put him in the game, and he also faced Springer in that game. So either way, Springer got multiple looks
and he put
in
one
a
on,
2-day
and he
stretch.
put one on a tee for him.
And he put one on a tee for him, missed
Yeah,
inside.
that's tough, man. Sorry for you and Johnny
Yep.
and all the Mariners fans out there. That was tough, man. I may have lost, a small wager with my bookie, but it had nothing to do with the pain that. And I've been there, man. And maybe I haven't because the fact that you've never won one.
No.
But I mean, I've experienced the walk-off postseason loss. I mean, I've had walk-off postseason losses to get knocked out of a playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, but I at least have a couple championships to go back on. So sorry to you. And
I'm glad that you have a couple championships to go back on.
that's not what I meant.
BJ.
Yes. But
All
at least the Seahawks won.
At least I didn't watch a single snap. I talked to my mom this morning on the way to work. She called to make sure that I was doing okay. She told me the Seahawks won. After the M's, I checked out. I didn't.
The biggest, toughest loss of the day was the Kraken, I think. They went down.
I didn't even know they played.
Hey, we appreciate Jackson's for having us out here again.
Thanks, Jackson's.
99-cent coffee day or night using your Let's Go Rewards app. And they have some great other deals on the Let's Go Rewards app. And again, they're sponsoring our Riley and Ridge show. Oh, it looks like we might actually have a BNN subscriber that may have shown up to get some gas here. So I don't know. We'll see. Hey, we appreciate Jackson's. And we are in a weird spot where people are just standing around watching us do the show here. But if you're in the area, come by. Jay's going to pump your gas. You got about 15 minutes, and Jay would be happy to do that for you. We appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise as well, lithiafordboise.com. Idaho Central Credit Union. Make the switch today, iccu.com. Our friends at Taco Bell. Johnny and I were out there last week doing a broadcast. Appreciate Taco Bell. The Blue and Orange store, Jay. I'm sure the Dylan Riley jerseys again going off the shelf, but saw Travis Hawks was at the Seahawks game last night. But the Blue and Orange store online, theblueandorange.store.com, and Circa Sports, where we will be tomorrow as we get set for basketball media days. Let's talk basketball for just a minute here, Jay, and then we'll get back to football.
Yeah.
I know you're, you helped put the voting together. We all got ballots and stuff, but just this team going down to Vegas and the last Mountain West media days for a lot of these teams. And let's be honest, right now, the league's looking like more of a basketball league than, I don't want to say, over a football league, but certainly there's going to be a lot of excitement with the basketball side of this with Gonzaga and things. So maybe it feels like a little better breakup at a basketball media days, at least for Boise State than some of the other deals going on with the lawsuits and all that and what that's going to mean for football. But on the basketball side, we saw them. You were there on Friday night, the Idaho scrimmage. Couldn't have asked for much more. I know the final spread was 6. You would have liked to have blown them out if you're Boise State, whatever, but I never felt like they were in any kind of danger of losing that game. They were mixing the lineups, the rotations. I mean, Drew Fielder didn't even start, and he's definitely going to start once the season starts. So I know they're going to play a secret scrimmage later this weekend up in Seattle against what are we now?
Secret scrimmage.
Against the Huskies, who just UNLV just lost to the Huskies. I saw in their scrimmage last week, so maybe that's going to be a good test for them.
They should be better this year too. By the way,
the Huskies.
They continue to
year
really
200
attack
Danny
their
Sprinkle
and
and
NIL game as well.
So what do you think? Just the storylines going down to Vegas for Boise State for the conference, and obviously, like I said, in that game against Idaho, they look pretty good.
I mean, you have two real quick, both the Boise State men's and women's team. Their final year in the league, obviously, and I think that both of them should be.
Jay was an esteemed voter, by the way, panelist for the women's basketball preseason poll. He put. Vlad, we are not done talking football. It's just my way to make you stick around for later in the show. We'll get back to football talking a little bit.
I just think that both those teams should be picked near the top of the conference in the preseason poll, and we'll see how high they get. But I think both of them should be contenders this year. The UNLV on the women's side, they always reload. They're always very good. I would expect them to probably be picked as the preseason favorites over there. But you look over on the guys' side, and man, Boise State, they did a great job of complimenting their returners with going out and getting some guys in the transfer portal. I'm right there with you. Also a reminder, Dylan Andrews didn't play against Idaho. I know that score seemed close at the end of the day. It also makes me realize, if I'm Leon Rice, and gosh, I'm not talking for him by any means, but just watching the game, that really is kind of a tricky exhibition. You play it so early. It's an exhibition, so it doesn't count, but it's a rivalry, so it absolutely does count. And when you try to arrange those early exhibitions, you would love to get it against a team that you can just basically do what you need to work on, not necessarily worry about winning the game.
Yeah.
But that's a game that you have to worry about winning. So man, it really is kind of a tricky matchup, and I don't know if they view it differently going forward or anything like that. The fan response was amazing for an exhibition game.
Yeah, it ended up being a good crowd. Yeah.
So it clearly has value. I just kind of wonder how you look at it going forward. Do you play it on October 16th? Do you play it later? I wonder how do you do it every year? I don't know if you need to do it every year. You know, I'm super curious to see how they approach that game going forward. But for an exhibition on October 16th, I did think it was a fun atmosphere. It was a fun game, high scoring. We saw basically 10 guys impact the game for Boise State, and then even that little scrimmage after the game, which honestly I felt like they should have hyped that up a little bit more. That
I don't know why so many fans left for that. I was surprised by that.
Well, honestly, I didn't even really know about it till game day. I thought that was a nice fun component where you can see some of the younger guys.
That's the whole reason you're going to that thing, was to see those kind of guys get more time.
Totally. Yeah. And those were also some moments where you had a lot of Idaho kids on the court, right?
They made like one announcement at the end of the game, and most people just got up and left because I don't think they knew what was happening.
Yeah.
But Ethan Lathan played a lot in that game. Spencer Aarons, I think, started in that portion. So Bob Peterson saying really liked the play of Drew Fielder. Depth on the front court will be solid. Think Buchanan and Meadow will lead the leading scorers all year. I mean, Drew Fielder, Jay, did that in 23 minutes.
24 points and 8 rebounds in 23 minutes of action. I went back and looked it up, and the game didn't count, so maybe it happened in an exhibition game, and it doesn't really matter. But, as far back as we can go, which I think is like 15 years or so, no Bronco had ever had 24 points and 8 rebounds in 23 minutes or less of action. So that was a really impressive performance. And watching him show off the stroke a little bit as well. I mean, I think that Boise State for years has kind of, teased us about being able to stretch the floor. But you see Dominic Parolin come out and hit a couple threes, and Drew Fielder hit 3 threes.
Yeah, Dominic Parolin's got an interesting shot. He's more of the slower.
Yep.
You get Spencer Aarons up here just letting it fly. Yep. Some of these guys are a little different. I mean, it goes in for Dom. He made 2 back-to-back ones at the top of the key, but he definitely kind of has the slower kind of motion on his shot.
Yeah, but he went out and grabbed, I think he had 3 offensive rebounds, so he brings some toughness on the glass. This team has some really, really intriguing pieces, and the biggest tease of them all we didn't get to see, Dylan Andrews. I think Dylan Andrews is going to be a phenomenal player for Boise State this year and in this league.
I was going to tell you this. I mean, not tell you this, but bring that up because they're sending him to media days.
Yeah.
And I can't, I mean, maybe it's just the transfer portal era. This is just different, but I can't remember a Boise State type team where they wouldn't just pick 2 veterans and send them down there. I mean, you could have easily taken an RJ Keene.
Yep.
You could have easily taken an Andrew Meadow. You could have, you're taking Javen. He obviously deserves to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's 3-4 other guys they could have taken that were returning players that are well-spoken and would say good things about the program. The fact that Leon wants to parade down there a UCLA transfer that only has 1 year in the program. Is it one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that just to me is, I thought that was very.
Unless there's a 5-year eligibility.
I'm trying to remember. You never know these things up. Yeah. He played 3 years there. But to me, I thought that was notable and very interesting, and says a lot about Dylan Andrews that he is one of the guys that Leon Rice is sending down to media days this week.
Have you had a chance to catch up with DA yet?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, we talked to him when they had that weird thing where when he signed, he was on a visit, and we got to talk to him, and then talk to him at just off the record, kind of shooting the breeze at a practice. But
so on that note, why do you think they're sending him down to be to represent the program?
Very well spoken.
Very well spoken.
He'll be great in all those interviews.
Yeah, charismatic, well spoken.
That's just not something Boise State's typically done, though, sending a transfer down to media days.
But I also think times have changed, man. He's going to be a massive part of this team, and that tells you right there how big of a part of this team he's going to be. Another Javen Buchanan. I'm telling you guys, I think
people don't realize how injured he was playing at parts of last season.
They don't. They don't realize he was injured. They don't you really have to think that was a big jump for him going from NAI to Division I basketball. I think you're going to see him be a little more consistent this year. And Javen, physically, he has benefited from a full year in a Division I weight room. I am really excited to see what Javen Buchanan does this season.
They got a lot of interchangeable parts. That's what I like about this team. Just guys that can, even a Drew Fielder and a Spencer Aarons, guys that can shoot the 3 but are 6'10" and can get down low. Yep. And you mentioned Javen Buchanan, his 3-point shot looked pretty good.
Almost play 1 through 5.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, if they really want to get creative and get versatile or match up or whatever they want to do, this roster has the ability to be pretty darn dynamic.
So any other storylines? I mean, San Diego State will probably be the favorite. I'll be curious to see who's second, Boise State or Utah State. I think those teams are very similar, and I've seen different polls that have it going different ways. They bring back Fozlov, who was my preseason pick for player of the year. A lot of people might have gone Bird or Guath. I went Fozlov for player of the year just with what he meant to that team last year and coming back. He was a slight edge for me. But I know that's going to be interesting. And then where Grand Canyon kind of slides in their first year here in the league, and then kind of how the bottom, half shakes out as well. I mean, that Colorado State, Nevada, UNLV kind of, glut of teams there in the middle. But I think San Diego State's clearly the top team, although I did see Guath's out for a couple weeks.
Huh.
Recovering from the knee injury, I guess, off-season surgery.
Interesting.
Not ready to go yet. They said late November. So
well, he's got to stay on the court.
Yeah, and they've got that Players Era tournament where they got some big-time games coming up, so hopefully he'll be back for that. But
it makes me excited to see what this basketball team's going to be, though. I just even being up there, you, Johnny, Nathan, just watching the game, and you start to see like, oh man, there really are some new pieces that are going to be a big time part of this roster. And then you see these returners like Andrew Meadows, another guy that I expect to take a big jump this year. Like going into his junior year, he's played a lot of basketball, right? And he is one of those guys that like the Roberto Bergerson type of basketball junkie, like lives it, breathes it. And I am really optimistic. I think this is going to be a fun basketball season.
And like I said, this is no disrespect to Tyson Degenhart or Alvaro Cardenas or Omar Stanley, but when those guys were leaving, and this is a compliment to them, when those guys were leaving, you're like thinking all season going, man, they're going to be in trouble. Like look at who they have signed. Who are they going to get? I know they're going to try to get somebody in the portal, but is it going to be that kind of guy? And then you get Dylan Andrews literally while you're in warmups for one of the Crown tournament games, and then you get Drew Fielder, I think about a week after that. And within like a 10 day to 2 week span of them losing in the Crown, you go from like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a step back type year to this team might be better than last year.
Well, it's really funny because some of those deals might have already been in the works, when it came to the Crown, because the Crown that tournament is so gosh darn late, right?
Yep.
So
it was like Final Four weekend.
Some of those, I think Dylan was even telling us that, basically kind of knew as he was watching the Crown where he was going to be going. And I am really optimistic about this team. I think that I really think that they are going to be also a fun and energetic team to watch. Drew Fielder plays with some fire, man, and he'll get the crowd going and he'll react and do things like that. I just think it's going to be a really fun team to watch. And will they have growing pains? Every team does. They had a lot of new pieces that they want to mesh together, and they have to figure out rotations. And we've really seen Leon use the preseason to figure out those rotations at times. And then usually by the time January hits, when Mountain West play takes off, I mean, they're like almost unbeatable in January, right? So they figure it out and they hit their stride, but he's really got some things to sort through and figure out who those probably 9-10 guys are that are really going to see minutes. And there are going to be some really talented guys that are left on the outside of that bubble too, BJ.
And I really like how the schedule sets up too. You get 5 what I would call winnable games. I mean, they should be 5-0 going to Maui. And in the past, they've had an early season game where all of a sudden they're 1-1 or 1-2. Or I mean, the way this sets up nicely is they kind of build, and they should be 5-0 and playing pretty well going to Maui.
I think that a big thing this team has to identify early on. Losing Tyson Degenhart, you lose a little bit of the heart and soul of your program. And more than anything, when things are going wrong, he was the guy that you would look to of how do we figure this out and get back on track. So who becomes that guy for this team? Who wants to emerge in that role when you hit adversity? Who's the guy that steers them back on course and gets it back pointed in the right direction?
Hey, Matt Boucher Real Estate. Appreciate him. Boucher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Check them out at BoucherRealEstate.com. Our friends at Ridley's Family Markets as well. Check them out, ShopRidleys.com. Find a location near you. 13 locations in the state of Idaho. We appreciate ShopRidleys.com and Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. TheSpaTeam.com is where you can go. Check them out if you're looking for a spa, sauna, all that great stuff. And we appreciate all of our great sponsors. That also includes TCS, Transportation Compliance Service, TranscomService.com. You want to get into the trucking industry, they can help you out. And all of our great sponsors, appreciate you guys for helping us do shows like this. And Jay, we only got you for another minute or two. Finish up on football with you.
No, I want to ask, BSU Bill has got kind of an interesting take here. And he talks about, rotation is going to be the #1 thing to monitor early on. Leon usually struggles to find his ideal rotation early in the season. Now, you might be able to phrase it that way, but I'd almost phrase it another. Like, Leon is willing to try to find the right rotations early in the season, right? Like you don't want to wait until conference play rolls around to figure out those answers.
No.
So you've got to find your you got to mix and match and figure out what works together. And as much as we can pretend like you can do that at practice, like it also needs to happen in a game and see how that translates to game day, right? So I love the comment there, BSU Bill, but I think that I just view that a little bit differently. I think that you got to try to mix and match and find your best rotations early in the season, because you do not want to wait to figure that out once Mountain West Conference play rolls around.
And I do think getting the Idaho game in front of the fans and stuff is a big deal for players' confidence and jitters and things. They've lost the first game of the season. Idaho State, South Dakota State, some of these early games where all they did was the 2 private scrimmages. I think, like I said, this schedule sets up nicely. You get your Idaho public one, you get your private one with Washington where you can do some different things. I guarantee in that one you probably play a little more when it comes to minutes and things, what it might look like in the regular season based on what you saw last week. And then, like I said, once you get going, you have your non-division one in the first game. It kind of builds. Wichita State, probably the best of those 5, is the 5th one you play. I really like how they set this up.
Yeah, I will say another thing about that exhibition game so early. Basketball season so often in the city of Boise just kind of creeps up on you, and you're like, oh man, they're already 5 games in. By scheduling that game that early, it's kind of like a slap in the face. Like, nah,
we're talking basketball.
It's here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think that's actually going to translate or result in better attendances early in the season, because it's not going to creep up on you. You had that big game, that big moment, and now basketball season is officially here.
No doubt, no doubt. Now let's finish up with you, Jay, on football before you got to roll. Obviously, we mentioned the game on Friday night, and the game against UNLV kind of went like a lot of us kind of thought. I mean, UNLV, at least in my eyes, I mean, the spread kept getting bigger, and I just felt like Boise State at home was gonna put it on them. And honestly, the score could have been worse than it was in terms of the muffed punt by Malik Sherrod and some other things that happened. We played Dan Mullen's comment on the show yesterday, by the way, with Brad Bedell, and had a little fun with that. And then I asked Eric Chenander about that. But
the funny thing about that comment, right? Is I thought they'd
well, there was like 3 parts of it that I didn't get, but that part
I thought they'd line up and play against us, and I'm sure that
almost like they don't think they're good enough to beat us one-on-one.
Totally.
They got a blitz to try to beat us,
which is ridiculous. But I'm sure Nathan Carroll, outside of his normal day job, is in some bunker somewhere with just kind of like the little weird top light on in a dark cave, just crunching numbers, right? And the funny thing about it's funny that you would suggest like blitzing doesn't mean you're going man to man, because if anything, what does blitzing do to your secondary?
There's less players there.
So it puts them in man to man. So they are lining up man to man, right?
Yeah.
So it is, I don't know, just
well, they also
kind of a funny suggestion.
They also blitzed. They blitzed more in the New Mexico game than they did the UNLV game.
It's also just wild to stand there after playing Boise State, and I know that Eric Chenander and members of that program can't necessarily be baited into talking about the reality.
I tried.
You did.
I thought he might say something more than like a Spencer would. But
if you've watched Boise State's defense over the last 2 years, and you're surprised at all that they blitzed, I don't know what game tape you were watching.
They must have watched the South Florida game and the Notre Dame game, because both those games they didn't blitz as much, and maybe they thought, okay, let's watch them against their 2 best opponents, and let's take a look.
Maybe.
But literally watch the tape from last week against New Mexico, and they blitzed more in that game than they did against UNLV.
Yeah, those are also 2 games where Boise State was behind most of the games and trying to make up points. I don't know. You coach those games very differently than when you're ahead and on the attack, but. To suggest that, thinking they just line up and play against us. I mean, if anything, if you blitz, you're putting a lot on your cornerbacks.
It was just a very odd quote for a lot of reasons. But Friday in Reno, Jay, we mentioned our friends down at Circa Sports, where we'll be tomorrow, have this one as a 21.5-point spread. I know last year was a close game. Last year was a pretty close game. They've had some close games against Nevada in years past. I don't expect this to be one of them. I guess anything can happen on a Friday night. But I mean, if this was another 41-10 type game, you'd kind of go, yeah, we saw this coming.
Yeah, and on all honesty, it feels that way. And I think the Boise State is just on a mission right now to kind of make those statements. They just to click in all 3 phases and prove that that they're a team that not only is the class of the Mountain West, but could be more. And I don't know how much you've talked about it, BJ, but even seeing UAB beat Memphis, it just makes you the 2014 season, they started 3-2 and they got blasted at Air Force. It felt like they got blasted. It was only a 2-score game, but still it felt like they got blasted.
7 turnovers.
Yeah, and it just, man, you were wondering at that point in that season if this team was going to get off the mat and even make a bowl game. And then they go and play for the Fiesta Bowl. So crazier things have happened. There is a ton of football season left, but like
a lot still has to happen.
A lot still has to happen, but a lot still has to happen. I mean, Navy still needs to lose a game, and they do go to Notre Dame, but like just a simple scenario that could play out, BJ. Memphis plays USF this weekend.
You would probably want to root for Memphis.
I'm going to say you would want to root for USF. Because if Memphis were to make it back to the American Championship game and play USF, if Memphis then beat USF to win the American, you knock USF out of the playoff picture because they didn't win their league. And then all of a sudden, Memphis would have 2 losses, one against USF and one against UAB. How does that compare to Boise State's 2 hypothetical losses? USF and Notre Dame. It just shows you there are paths.
Okay. I could see that. By the way, I guess it was a 21-point spread also for UAB and Memphis. So, Spencer's going to show them the missed field goal, show them every close game down there. Last year's game was close. I mean, he's going to do his, as Leon Rice would call it, the Lou Holtz.
He's very big on messaging. He'll absolutely have those guys dial.
Is it? I mean, if Boise State were to lose this game, I guess like how do you? If we're looking up in the fourth quarter and it's a 3-point game, what's going wrong, or what do you see? Is there just a couple ugly turnovers that are pick sixes, or
yeah.
I mean, I just don't see many ways where this game is close.
I don't. I just see maybe again Kane Ione and the Nevada defense just throwing the kitchen sink at Boise State and making it an ugly game, because for me really I see no way that Nevada's offense could keep pace with any type of.
They almost beat New Mexico.
Game.
They did almost beat New Mexico. They had a little bit of a pulse in that game. I was surprised.
They have a freshman quarterback that's finding more confidence and things like that. And I could be very wrong. I just would, if this game's in the 30s, I just have a really difficult time seeing Nevada's offense keep pace.
This is their homecoming game, I guess I heard too. I don't know if that will have a bigger crowd than usual,
maybe.
But yeah. I don't know. Hey, Jay, what do we got? Bronco Studios. You had yesterday's show, and then you got the 4 o'clock show. By the way, I know we mentioned this on the post-game show, but I really like the new in-game folks that were at the game. You heard Jay at halftime showing some highlights. Post-game, Dylan Riley. I mean, you were firing up the crowd at halftime on the false starts. I mean, I really thought you were going to bring them and bring the team some positive momentum, and then the offense went 3 and out to start the third quarter. And
I said, from there on out is pretty good. From there on out is pretty good.
You did have the crowd ready to go on defense, but you guys continue to try some new things with Bronco Studios, and I thought it went pretty well.
That was all Chris Coots. Put me in a good spot, and I just took a mic and tried to do my best. So that was his idea.
Well, it's pretty cool. They do that at I've been to some pro sports things where they do a little halftime recap or report, and then they also do the. So we just gotta. Maybe you need let's get BNN to sponsor that halftime thing, and I'll get down there and talk with you or something. Let's do that. But no, then you had Dylan Riley post game, so that was pretty cool.
For me, I thought the Dylan Riley post game actually was pretty cool because Bronco Nation really got into it there for a little bit, and that kid deserved it. He absolutely deserved that moment where he had 30,000 fans cheering for him and him alone.
And the whole team, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but they were getting ready to do their prayer. I took a picture of it. I should send it to you.
I didn't notice it. Somebody mentioned it afterwards.
They were getting ready to do the prayer, and the whole team stopped and waited to watch Dylan on the video board. I think they may have ended up starting at the end because they were kind of tired of waiting around. You know, that extra question you threw in there ticked off the minister, I guess. But no, they all stopped and they watched pretty much the whole interview on the video board while you were doing it, and they were all cheering for him. And I thought that was a pretty cool moment.
I heard about that afterwards. The sound in there is like really tough to deal with, like the echo. And so my whole focus was on like each word I was saying. And Dylan was flawless, by the way. Didn't he was affected by it at all. But I didn't fully understand any of the reaction going on around. I just heard some cheers. And
when you're on TV, I mean, you're obviously getting to more viewers, but you don't realize that when you're in front of an empty camera right now. It's you and me, and it's a couple guys getting gas or whatever. Yeah. When you're on the Jumbotron and it's live with 30,000, that probably takes you. That's for you, even done a lot of big broadcasts in your career. That probably is an adjustment of some sort.
I will jokingly say this: the first halftime hit I did, it's probably the most nervous I've been in a little while behind a mic. You're exactly right. back in the day on KTVB, on any given night, our audience definitely exceeds that number. But that game, just seeing 30,000 plus like right in front of you, I was a little nervous.
Well, nice work, Jay. It was good stuff. You and Chris and the whole crew there with Bronco Studios continue to find new ways and new things. And folks said, having Jay in game was a great ad there. So other folks are Jay. I swear, if we would have lost, you would have jinxed us with the 15-game winning streak.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, you could have blamed me, Jesse. Absolutely, I would have taken.
Tell the coaches to not tap the podium during press conferences. Those microphones were picking up everything.
Yeah. I will say, Chin's definitely plays a little bit of the drum sometimes behind there, but he's an intense guy. Whatever.
Jay, appreciate you, and we'll see you at Bronco Studios 4:00 tomorrow. Any early thoughts
tomorrow.
on guests? Or?
We're trying to preview basketball media days, so you might see a basketball player on there. The cross country team had a successful weekend last weekend, so either an athlete or head coach Pat McCurry is going to join us. Continue to hype up the soccer team because what they're doing right now is truly unbelievable. BJ, they have 20 points in the standings with 3 games to go. Second place has 13 points. Like, they're almost doubling up the second place team in terms of points.
And they get to host the championship.
And they get to host the championship. And this was a team that had a lot of new pieces, a lot of, had to mesh with some returners and things like that. So to see them clicking is super encouraging. And then the volleyball team, your boy Sean Garris, back at home this weekend as well. So, we'll preview that.
Julian Colvard, who's tight with Terrius Favor, says my wife might be in Boise. So maybe must have had a good weekend here. And it's all Come on back. Come on back. Move out here. Yeah, it's a great spot to live. Jay, final question for you. Were you wearing flip-flops during that live hit?
Surf City Bill, I wasn't. I have retired the flip-flops. Unless we get some crazy random warm fall day, I have officially switched over. So covered toes until hopefully that late February trip to Arizona to visit the in-laws and see the Mariners.
San Diego State coming up next month.
There we go.
Come on, you can bring them back out for that.
Okay, maybe that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Appreciate it, Jay.
All right, buddy.
Jay Tust, Bronco Studios, tremendous stuff. I'm just going to keep going. You're good. We don't have the Bronco Studios segue here. We just say get off the screen. Yeah. Appreciate Jay for giving up his time and coming over here. Bronco Studios. Make sure you're checking them out on YouTube right now. Right, just the the Boise State Athletics YouTube channel. You can watch all their stuff there, and tremendous stuff from Jay and the crew over there at Bronco Studios. And 4:00 Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. You can check. What are you doing this weekend on Friday? You going to do a 4:00 show?
Yeah, we'll be live from Reno.
The game or the hotel still, or what? What are we going to pull off?
I think we'll head over to the field a little bit early.
Live from the field, Jay Tust in Reno. All right, we'll have to make sure our show's not on at the same time there, but that'll be good. Looking forward to that. So check out Jay and the crew in Reno. All kinds of coverage. But again, appreciate Jackson's. We're here at Jackson's on Broadway, and again, if you joined us late tonight. If there was ever a Bronco studio or a Bronco player you wanted to meet and a show you wanted to come to, make it tonight. How about this? Sire Gaines and Dylan Riley live tonight at the James Kitchen and Bar. We'll be on the patio. It is heated. It is covered. Maybe bring a sweatshirt, but it's not that bad. They do a nice job with the heaters in there. We'll be on the covered patio by the bar, and you can bring your trading cards, bring whatever memorabilia you want Dylan or Sire to sign. You can meet those guys, and they will be the live guests from 8 to 9 o'clock on the Riley and Ridge Show tonight, presented by Jackson's. We'll be passing out some Jackson's trading cards, and if you are a paid subscriber, as always, your first beverage is on the BNN team. So hope folks will come hang out tonight. The Riley and Ridge Show. Again, Dylan Riley, Sire Gaines, 2 big-time guests, courtesy of Jackson's, coming live tonight to the James Kitchen and Bar. The show starts at 8. They usually get there about 7:45 or so. So if you want to talk to them before the show, after the show, should be fun. Come hang out on the patio, have a beverage, have some late dinner, some appetizers, and this would be the show to come to tonight. Riley and Ridge Show, presented by our friends at Jackson's. Again, 99-cent coffee here at Jackson's. All the great things at Jackson's. They do tremendous stuff. They've got the trading cards inside. You can go buy those. All the different various Let's Go rewards, daily deals, and things like that as well. And hopefully yesterday you got your soda from Latrell Caples getting in the end zone, the 49-cent fountain drink that was available at the Treasure Valley Jackson's locations, thanks to our man Latrell Caples getting in the end zone. And so when you come down here to tailgate and things too, you can see how close it is to the stadium, and whether it's your snacks, your beer, your ice, all that good stuff right here by the stadium, our friends at Jackson's, and we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. I did forget once again. I shouldn't say that. I didn't forget. Leaving town tomorrow, a ton going on. By the way, tomorrow may not be a morning show, maybe an afternoon show from Vegas. Once we get there, we'll let you know. But a ton going on right now, getting ready for a 5-day trip down to media days in Vegas and Reno, and just a lot of equipment to pack and logistics, and did not get to the wheel for our Shields gift card. So if you watch today only for the Shields gift card, I apologize, and we will try to do that in the near future. I will try to do that tomorrow. We'll try to do a show tomorrow, and I'll try to get to the Shields gift card at some point if I can, but a lot going on. I apologize. $500 gift card to Shields. We have those that put their names in the pot for the voicemails, and we will get to that when we can. So I apologize to Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. And whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, we love the guys at Signature Roofing. Again, online at mysignatureroofing.com. I apologize, but do not have the raffle ready today. And when you're the only full-time employee of your company, there's just a lot going on and couldn't get it done today. So apologize. We will get to that soon, and appreciate you guys for bearing with me on that. But hope to see some of you tonight. Looking forward to it. I don't have to host the show. I just get to hang out and have beverages with you guys and dinner, and it's a fun show. So we have the Riley and Ridge show tonight, and that'll be at 8 o'clock. So come hang out early. Usually by 7:30 we're set up and just hanging out, and want to get a good spot for this one. Not going to want to miss Dylan, Riley, and Sire Gaines live tonight at 8 o'clock at the James Kitchen and Bar, courtesy of an NIL deal through Jackson's. We appreciate Jackson's for their support of Bronco Nation News. Thank you guys for the kind words. And another good one, another show in the books. We're heading over to Boise State. We're going to go across the parking lot here. We're going to talk to some players, talk to some coaches, I believe, and get some interviews up for you at Bronco Nation. Nope, today's players, tomorrow's coaches. So we'll get the interviews up at bronconationnews.com. And as I said, tomorrow the show will not be in the morning. I can promise you that. Maybe a show once we get to Vegas in the Resorts World. We can test some of the equipment and do the show over there in the afternoon, but we'll see. We're traveling down tomorrow. Nathan, Carroll, and I traveling down to Vegas, and then we'll be live for 4+ hours on Thursday morning, getting you set for basketball with Vegas and conference media days at Resorts World there. So appreciate you guys. Go subscribe if you can. BroncoNationNews.com. A ton of great content coming up. We got Mike Prater column coming this week. Nathan Carroll, his analysis. He's got 4 or 5 stories coming this week with football, basketball. There was a Boise State commit that Brandon Huffman, the quarterback, 2027 commit. He talked to him. That story is up. Chris Van Sickle talked to another commit that was visiting this weekend to talk about his visit. So a ton of VIP exclusive content that you won't find anywhere else. Recruiting, football, basketball, all kinds of stuff. And then, as always, our subscriber-only shows on Wednesday nights. If you want to watch Sanford and Johnny Ball Talk, that's a subscriber-only show for subscribers as well. So $7 a month right now is all it costs with our 30% off deal. We'd love for you to jump on, support us, subscribe. $7 a month at BroncoNationNews.com for all of our exclusive content. And like I said, we'll talk to you from Las Vegas. Don't know when exactly tomorrow. Stay on social media. We'll keep you updated on that. And Nathan and I will have a show at some point tomorrow afternoon, maybe like 3 o'clock or something to lead into Bronco Studios show. I don't know, but we'll see what we can do. And we'll obviously talk to you tonight first from the James for the show tonight. And we'll talk to you on the message boards. We'll be chatting in there. We'll be posting stories today. So go check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com if you haven't, part of the 24/7 Sports family. Subscribe if you can. Help us out. If not, you can get a free membership and at least still chat on the free message boards as well. And we appreciate those of you that do that as well. So have a great rest of your day. We're going to go do some interviews and things, and then we will see you tonight, 8 o'clock. Riley and Ridge show. Maybe one of the best shows that we'll have, one of the best set of guests we've had. Sire Gaines, Dylan Riley together there on the show at the James Kitchen and Bar tonight at 8 o'clock. So hope to see a lot of you folks there, and we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.